violation. Pfizer, the drug manufacturer, was guilty of antitrust violation. Pfizer, the drug manufacturer, was guilty of antitrust violation. Guilty of environmental violation. Pfizer, the drug manufacturer, was guilty of antitrust violation.
Something happened in 1940 which marked the beginning of a new era, the era of the ability to synthesize and create on an unlimited scale new chemicals that had never existed before in the world.
And using the magic of research, oil companies compete with each other in taking the petroleum molecule apart and rearranging it into, well, you name it.
So suddenly, it became possible to produce any new chemicals, synthetic chemicals, the likes of which had never existed before in the world, for any purpose and at virtually no cost.
Batteries, toothbrushes, tires, insecticides, cosmetics, weed killers, a whole galaxy of things to make a better life on Earth.
For instance, if you wanted to go to a chemist and say, look, I want to have a chemical, say a pesticide, which will persist throughout the food chain, and I don't want it to have to renew it very, very often. I'd like it to be relatively non-destructible. And then he'd put two benzene molecules on the blackboard and add a chlorine here and a chlorine that. That was DDT.
When the 8th Army needed Jap civilians to help them out in our occupation, they called on native doctors to administer DDT under the supervision of our men to stem a potential typhus epidemic. Dusting like this goes a long way in checking disease, and the labs are them. Pardon our dust.
As the petrochemical era grew and grew, warning signs emerged that some of these chemicals could pose hazards. The data initially were trivial, anecdotal, but gradually a body of data started accumulating to the extent that we now know that the synthetic chemicals which have permeated our workplace, our consumer products, our air, our water, produce cancer and also birth defects and some other toxic effects. Furthermore, industry has known about this, at least most industries have known about this, and have attempted to trivialize these risks. If I take a gun and shoot you, that's criminal. If I expose you to some chemicals which knowingly are going to kill you, what difference is there? The difference is that it takes longer to kill you. We are now in the midst of a major cancer epidemic, and I have no doubt, and I have documented the basis for this, that industry is largely responsible for this overwhelming epidemic of cancer, in which 1 in every 2 men get cancer in their lifetimes, and 1 in every 3 women get cancer in their lifetimes.
Posilac is being used in more than a quarter of the dairy herds in the United States, according to Monsanto. The milk has been drunk by a large portion of the American population since the Food and Drug Administration declared it safe for both cows and humans 4 years ago.
And at that time, Monsanto was saying, there's no evidence whatsoever of any adverse effects. We don't use antibiotics. And this clearly showed They had lied through their teeth.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shah, Hashem and Kakadash. Now, this reminds me of what King David said about these Edomites in Psalms 52. In Psalms 52, King David was describing the Edomites and how they operate. Starting at Psalms 52, verse 2, it says, "The tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor working deceitfully." You see? He say, "Thou lovest evil," in verse 3, "thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness." Verse 4, "Thou lovest all devouring words, O deceitful tongue." So King David broke these Edomites down, read their spirit like no other, and it was all in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Now, we got an issue with this situation because these people know that they lying, and they've been sued multiple times for lying to the public, and after the years go by, a collection of evidence come up and expose their lying. Then when you go to Matthew chapter 10, Salakia. When you go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 26, Yahweh Shah, who they even call Jesus Christ, he broke it down to the fact what these Edomites don't understand. He said in 26, "Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and nothing hid that shall not be known." Now, not only is it's going to be revealed, when you go to Matthew 11, verse 25, it say, getting to the point, he say, Yahweh Shah said, "O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and have revealed them unto babes." So the only certain group of people is gonna get the revelation or get the understanding of what's really going on. Now these dragons gonna blame it on business corruption, but it's not about business corruption. It's about the Edomites, how they operate, and as a whole, because most of the corporations are owned by Edomites. Now, when you look at these organizations, it goes back to these terrorists, because first of all, this individual grandmother was a certified terrorist with the Planned Parenthood, and his daddy was the lawyer for the company, and these individuals is connected to the Rockefellers, and they are connected to the Gates. They started public education. They got major power in this country, and they got influence when it comes to the drug companies and these organizations that make them legit, kind of like a drug dealer laundering his money and making his money clean. You see, he crooked, but he gonna use this individual to clean up his money. So that's what these organizations is doing. They are fronts for the real terrorists and the real criminals that's trying to do their dirty work. You see, because this person connected to Margaret Sanger, who was a certified terrorist. She was the head of the women's or one of the head of the women's Ku Klux Klan, certified terrorist and certified person that was trying to commit genocide to certain groups of people, and especially the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans here in America. So these individuals is paying these organizations to be their fronts, you see, and they speak through these organizations. That's why you're giving them $3 billion. You go down to the CDC, another terrorist organization, you giving them almost $200 million that is being told. Ain't no telling who getting what. Then you got this Fauci guy that's always on TV. You giving him $20 million, and that's just a estimate. That's what's documented. You see, that's what's on the books. But under the table, ain't no telling how much these individuals is getting. You see, and so these dragons, the whole story will never be told, because just like King David said, they are a bunch of deceitful, lying. They love to lie. They love to tell a lie. You see. Now these terrorist organizations, they are the ones that's backing these criminals. Because if you got three major ones, you got the World Health Organization, you got the CDC, and you got the FDA. They approve all these poisons and all this witchcraft that's going on in America, and all this malpractice that's going on in this country, and the whole world pretty much, because every country talking about the CDC, and every country talking about the World Health Organization. You see, that's for the whole freaking world. And this one dragon is giving these people billions of dollars, you see, and telling them to do his agenda. So that's what these individuals don't understand, that's trusting these people when they running their mouth. This is a criminal organization. This is what they call them, a cartel, like the drug cartel. That's all it is. And they paying out who they got to pay off to stay they behind out of jail and to stay off the news being known as a criminal. You see, they're not going to be known as a criminal because somebody else going to say, oh, whatever, if the information get out, it's just a conspiracy theory, it's misinformation, and nobody is accurate on bringing them out on the truth that they telling. But it's all about they terrorizing these people and making money while you terrorizing them, and people dropping dead and catching cancer, catching all kinds of diseases and side effects and allergic reaction from these dragons, certified serpents, vipers. And a lot of people don't know that them vipers that Yahweh Shah was talking about, they were some freaking Edomites who had them came up in the fold and try to act like they knows anything about the situation. They had them came up and tried to take over the operation. Now,
there's only one disease. There's never been two diseases in the world. There's only been one disease. The compromising of the mucous membrane. There's only one disease. There's never been two diseases in the world. There's only been one disease. The compromising of the mucous membrane. And the mucous membrane of the African has been compromised 400 years now. What has the African ate since he left Africa that is really equitable to your system? What? And he has not eaten anything. So therefore, the biological structure
Now, these individuals, they know what's going to work, but they don't want to promote that. They're going to promote some old wickedness to destroy you over a long period of time or a short period of time, however it takes to destroy you, but they know that it's going to destroy you. But the stuff that's not going to destroy you, they're not telling you to do that. You see? They're not telling you to eat alkaline foods. They're not telling you to take vitamin D or vitamin B. Any kind of vitamins. They're not telling you to take vitamins or eat the food that have those vitamins in it. These dragons is all up to no good, and they just want to kill off the population at the end of the day. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.